My dear Bagginses and Buffins.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we are talking about a last-second decision that changed Lord of the Rings forever. So, as everyone I think can agree, the cast of the original trilogy was spot on. I can't even envision all of the other actors that were it's now come out that they were potentially going to be playing certain roles. To me, I can't even envision it because this trilogy works out so perfectly with the actors that they have. However, it was not always the case that we are going to have this this collection of actors, and in fact, it was right up until the last second, basically, that that we actually got the eventual true cast of the original trilogy. So it turns out, and I do believe that this is not brand new information for some people, but other people might be not in the loop on this, that Viggo Mortensen was not the original choice to play Aragorn. And I'm not just talking about all the speculation about, Nick Cage and Mel Gibson, which I've heard thrown around. It was actually someone who was already cast and was doing scenes, and at the last second, it turns out that Peter didn't think that the actor was working in the role the way he wanted, and so he swapped him out. So I guess fired is a better explanation. But it turns out that Stuart Townsend, who I'm not that familiar with, was the actual Aragorn that was supposed to be in these movies, and because of some early footage, they ended up going in a different direction and cast Viggo Mortensen instead, which I don't know how far in they got, but according to Dominic Monaghan, it sounds like they were a decent way into some scenes, because he was shocked that at this point they were able to fire people and get someone on new. So it sounds like they were actually already in process, at least a little bit. So yeah, that is quite striking to me. I've heard a lot of names thrown around, but I think it's particularly shocking when someone who was already there filming was switched with Viggo, who I think is potentially doing one of the best jobs of everyone doing an amazing job, which is all the cast members. Viggo is doing something so special in these films. What's your thoughts on this? I'm just shocked that
I didn't know about this.
yeah,
So,
I'm shocked that they would actually see the film as they're doing it and say this isn't working, and almost have the foresight to know there are certain scenes coming up that it's not going to work. And
they said they wanted someone who looked older.
that is so I had heard this story before, and that is the explanation I saw at the time. In this article, it doesn't actually say that. It just says that they weren't working. So whether or not it was their appearance, which if it is, that's a shame, but obviously, like, you do want actors and to look like the characters the way you envision it, or whether it was his style of delivery of some of the lines. Maybe he was a bit more energetic, whereas Aragorn, especially in the Fellowship, when we first meet Aragorn, he is very quiet, very stoic, and so maybe that just wasn't vibing. I would like to see, if they did film some of those scenes, I would like to see what they look like, because I'm curious as to what Peter saw in those shots that made him make a huge this is a huge decision. You wouldn't just do this on a whim. He must have been thinking about this for a little bit and going, okay, I've got to pull the plug here and get someone new, because this is not good enough, or this is just not working. And so I'm interested to see what those look like.
Yeah.
And as Monahan points out, he was shocked that people could get fired at this point. I wonder if they were then all thinking, "Uh-oh, am I doing a good job?" Like, I mean, they had already signed on to be there for a year and a bit at least, like basically live in New Zealand. So yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that you go all this way, you've gone through all the casting, you're doing the scenes, and it's like nope, that you're no good. Like you don't realize that you're still in the casting hall when you're filming these scenes, I guess. I guess once you get around to like second and third movie, there's no way they're replacing you, so then you can kind of be a bit more silly. Well, there's a really good blooper that came across my YouTube feed recently, where it's the scene where Sam is eavesdropping on them, and Gandalf pulls him through the window, and instead of saying his normal line, Sam or Sean, I should say, says, I just really wanted a close up. I mean, you guys have all gotten your close ups, and I think so. He completely ruins a take, and I'm like, you have to have some confidence in that moment that you're not gonna be yelled at for wrecking a perfectly good scene. But yeah, so yeah, I'm shocked that they were doing it down to the wire. But then again, once you find out a little bit about Peter and know how up to the deadline on release they were still editing the film, I guess it's not that out of the ordinary for him to be doing stuff on kind of a different schedule than most directors might be doing. So yeah, what are your thoughts? Did you guys know about this last minute change? I do know that this is a story that's been out there for a little bit. I didn't realize how far into filming, or at least how much had been done. The fact that Monahan was confused about it makes it seem like they had actually been basically already been told that they had the role. So yeah, let us know what your thoughts are, and also what you think Stuart Townsend might have been like as Aragorn. Maybe I'll go check out some of his works and see, what kind of performance would we have gotten from him. But that's it for this one. See you guys next time.
I regret to announce this is the end. I bid you all a very fond farewell.